Contests all over the ground, and we haven't even got to the midfield. And that's where it all begins, and it might be really where it is won. Down to Christy Malthouse now. Christy, good evening.
Well, it is as close to a sellout as I have ever had here at the Telstra Dome. They were lining up outside over 2 hours ago, so you can expect plenty of noise, especially for St Kilda. They're mainly Saints fans. Now, they did play here last night, so the ground's got a little bit of wear and tear. I would expect the players would wear the long stops so they don't slip over too much, but aside from that, it's in pretty good condition.
It looks immaculate, and the stage is perfectly set. It doesn't get better than this. I can't quite recall a lead-up to a home and away match like it.
Oh, it's been a great build-up, Tim, and I'm just looking at the centre-half forward area for the Saints, and Riewoldt taken that position, and they will play a shorter forward line in the absence of Aaron Hamill.
And Brown and Maguire at it very early.
Matthew James sets them on their way, and Noble the first hand on the ball to Clark, who was coming in hard. Del Santo brought down, didn't have it.
St Kilda kick.
Saints ball.
The ground. Thanks, boys.
And Justin Leppich has picked up Nick Riewoldt. And as we expected, Mel Michael
No one on the mark. He could almost go all the way. He goes very wide to Riewoldt. And Leppich sees it safely over.
This will be an interesting contest. Leppich playing on Riewoldt. Leppich loves to stay across the half-back line. Riewoldt, as we know, covers enormous ground, gets down to the wings. Will Leppich go all the way with him, or will Leppich stay back in his position?
Gary got into the back of Michael.
Mel's ball. Back to Mel.
No doubt about that one. So the ball will come back to Mel Michael. A ruck infringement there, and he immediately gives it straight back to Brad Scott. He just casually strolls across the full back line. Plenty of time to measure the kick. And it's a good one as he fires Charman. So no froth and bubble yet. Just a solid start from both teams as Charman on defensive 50. Goes along. Brown and Maguire, who are having a little bit of a wrestle before the opening bounce. First points go to Maguire.
Well, Maguire did well to hold his ground in the marking contest to make sure that Brown didn't take that mark, because the kick was certainly directed at Jonathan Brown.
And umpire James using the whistle freely early just to assert some control. Good old-fashioned stuff. Del Santo, second feel of the ball already. This one a little ropey. Confident against Ackermanis. Not such a good kick. He's kicking normally a strength. Lappin now. So's his. Brown can't get to the drop, and the bounce eludes him. And the Saints control it. Goddard, Del Santo again. Black under pressure. Voss got him. Almost produced the error. Not yet. Saints hold firm. Aussie Jones. Good stuff. Experienced player. Lovely kick. Leppich in good posse. Veteran Hart. Mown down. Free kick to Brisbane.
So the 30, sorry, Rob.
Yeah, Luke Ball, the man on the mark. It looks like Sean Hart might have the tagging job on ball.
32-year-old veteran now. Speaking of veterans, here's Pike as he finds Brown.
17 marks last week, Jonathan Brown.
Wastes no time, squares it up, deep inside 50. Voss claims the mark and is awarded it. Good kick out wide to Kaczynski. Oh, he's got Clark on. If he can break the tackle, he can't, but Hayes still might find him. He goes along now, and Clark's got the ball. He's got about 20 metres on his nearest opponent. Xavier Clark shows a lot of dash. He has a bounce. He takes it to 50. Shot to Riewoldt. Beautifully done by Michael, the leading spoiler in the competition, and that is why.
And have a look at the mouth off of Chris Johnson to Riewoldt and then to Gehrig. And plenty of experience with that fella, but a great interception there by Mel Michael on Riewoldt. And let's remember, Riewoldt's not Michael's opponent, and it's fantastic to see defenders help each other out.
And already both defences have been tested. Charman nicely with the backhander. Just about a push in the back to Clark. This time, though, the ball up.
So Maxie Hudson, and that amazes me that Max Hudson is out there. He has not played senior football for 10 weeks.
Umpire McInerney this time. Good straight bounce. Ackermanis. Terrific speed off the mark. Brown waited. Maguire confidently and bravely got his fingertips onto the ball.
Great story in the newspaper this morning in Melbourne about how the two dads used to go toe-to-toe in the Country League.
Yes, both Maguire and Jonathan Brown from South Warrnambool Football Club.
Well, goes high, Justin's ball.
Free kick to Kazitsky, advantage paid. Now the ball ends up in the arms of Goddard. Good kick, looking for Gehrig. The big fist again from Michael. Guerra front and centre. Left foot snap is a beauty. Just misses. He's pumping the air, Guerra, but he missed. Got to look around. Now he realises it was only a point. But G's been dangerous in front of goal this year.
Well, he's kicked 6 goals straight the last couple of weeks. Let's not forget he got suspended for 3 weeks in the Wizard Cup Grand Final, and he is dangerous. Read that so well, banged it on his preferred left foot. And Chris Johnson, who does the bulk of the kicking in for the Lions, has the ball.
Voss is on ball, and that's where Johnson heads. Voss marking wide, ball picking him up, letting him go that wide. Now Hart. Not a great deal of carry in the kick, nothing their only hope, but Hudson, an early feel of the leather, and how sweet it must feel. And the Saints are away. Clark scouting beautifully. Black the chance. Hot last week. Is he on song this week? He's missed on the same side as Guerra. Both of them left footers, and both of them just drifting across the face.
Well, they've certainly had the bulk of the play, the Saints, so they're not overawed playing the triple premiership Lions.
Been a bit more of a subdued start than we perhaps thought, Robert.
It has. There's certainly been no physical clashes.
So Johnson goes straight up the middle, and the kick is absolutely superb as he finds Lepic. Lepic to the wing. Black underneath it. That's a terrific mark taken by Kazitsky. Going with the flight of the ball. Gives it to Powell, who doubles back. Now gets on the preferred left and drills it long. It's a wobbler, and it's straight down the throat of Lepic.
Saints have won their last 7 at the Dome. Brisbane have won just 4 of their last 8 over a couple of seasons. Lappin to the running Pike, and the veteran kicks, probing little Lynch. Penny took him under it. Jones there to mop up, little fumble. Hudson doing okay. Black wide for Goddard, who's been very accomplished in the heat of it early. Now here's Rewalt getting away from Lepic, who perhaps let him go if he was going to go that far afield. Saints with the overlap. Del Santo hugging the boundary. Guerra.
And that's Lepic on the mark. He's on the mark of Guerra. He just let Rewalt go. Let him run 100 metres from him. So Rewalt took that mark unopposed on the wing. Interesting to see if that tactic will work throughout the game.
Milne ignored. Gehrig's tried a couple of times.
Copeland playing on Milne.
Guerra is a lovely kick. This time, though, he misses on the near side, and the Saints have had 3 failed attempts. Brisbane haven't scored.
Early in the piece, Nick Del Santo has 5 disposals. A real standout so far.
Well, Maxie Hudson playing on a half-back flank on Craig McRae.
Johnson looks for Whitehall Pike.
3 kick-ins from Chris Johnson, and each of them has hit the target.
White, that's a pretty ordinary-looking kick. Pike's up to the challenge to Voss. Great body strength, kept his feet. Now to Power, back to Pike. Still at half-back. Docklands side. Pike goes long, looks for Brown. Rewalt with courage goes back. Great contest from 2 young champion players.
And it was good courage by Rewalt. He got back there. It looked like it might have been a mark to Jonathan Brown because Maguire was several metres behind. And Rewalt running up to the half-forward line where Lepic is waiting.
The feeling out stage is still on. Voss tackled high, but he had his head down in the umpire's opinion. Young Fisher. Hart bravely across his path. Actually went to ground deliberately, but didn't dive on the ball, so perhaps technically he was protected from that free kick interpretation.
Steve Silvani, Luke Penny playing very close to Lynch.
And we just see Luke Penny on the inside of Alistair Lynch at the moment. Probably the wrong side. He really should be pushing Lynch to the goal, towards the boundary line.
Might be another ball up here, the way it's looking, or perhaps a throw in. No, there is a free kick. Brad Scott's ball.
There's the mark there.
Brisbane the chance, the 50 is open, and Scott will seize the opportunity here. Voss with the sit from behind. McRae now for Lynch, and Voss, first goal!
And Tim, what you've got to love about that goal is the unselfish teamwork employed by several Brisbane players in setting it up. We just see the long kick. Maguire backing back. It's McRae. The little McRae taps it to Lynch. Now Lynch could have put that through. Saw his skipper there. Gave it across to him. So everyone feels good. McRae, Lynch and Voss. And long into the goal square. Steve, how did you read it?
Yes, so well, Alistair Lynch actually played it perfectly. He held Penny to the goal line and left the hot spot open, which allowed the Brisbane players to run onto him, and it just created that goal.
So the first big punch landed by the Lions. And we'll have the secondary bounce here in the middle.
And Corrie on the bench. Brennan on the bench, the youngsters. The only two players there who haven't played in a premiership for Brisbane.
Beautifully done by Charman. Got it to Black. Couldn't get an effective disposal away. Socket by Hart. Lynch has got the front position. Misses the diving mark. Lucky let off for the Saints. Penny, quick kick to Black. And that is a bare 15 metres, that one. But the Saints out of trouble. A little bit lucky. Goddard receives at half back. And it's out on the full. Free kick to the Lions.
And the first change in the ruck's been made. Kazitsky off and Trent Noble on for the Saints.
The Lions just turning up the wick a little here in the middle stages of the quarter, and it's their ball. Brown arriving for his second mark.
And Maguire playing from behind. I don't think he expected Jonathan Brown to dive for that mark. He thought he'd get a contest from players in front. You can just see him easing up there, Maguire. He thought he'd get more support from Nick Del Santo. It didn't happen, and you hope he learns from that. You cannot rely on your teammates, your ruckman, to do the job for you, because as soon as you do that, it'll open up and this result will happen. He's just got to work to be shoulder to shoulder, side by side with Big Brown.
Like a boxer with the Vaseline on the eyebrows. Be a big psychological blow. It's a beautiful kick.
And again, Steve Silvani, it looks as if they're giving that 50-metre arc pretty much to Alistair Lynch. The Lions players are loath to come back into it. Only at the last second will they do it.
Yes, they're giving Alistair all the room in the world. It was a great effort by Jonathan Brown. He ran 40 metres to mark that ball. And as you said, Rob, Maguire just fell off him. You just can't do that as a defender. You've got to expect the unexpected.
And there's a shot of the Brownlow medalist, Jason Ackermanis. Heath Black, his opponent. Now, the little Saint number 6 has done some very good close-down jobs in recent weeks. Big challenge on Ackermanis.
Speaking of Brownlow medalists, Harvey's on in the middle, but Del Santo with the clearance inside 50. Gehrig's run down by Michael. Riding shotgun was Lepic. Great tackle, Del Santo, but Lepic has the time and the nous to get it to Hart. Back to the wing. Oh, Brown! Sensational mark against Maguire. Pike gets touch number 6 inside 50. Noble with courage. Oh, there's a bit of bravery there with some big guns bearing down on him. Takes a big mark and also gets a 50.
Getting played on you, you've ran 5 metres over.
And again, Lepic is letting Riewoldt go where he likes. Lepic will play across half-back. If Riewoldt runs to the wings, he just lets him go.
So Trent Noble right in the middle of the dome. Drills it long. Michael against Gehrig. Clark waiting back. Clever tap. Gehrig can't quite get a handle on it. Clark at the bottom. Michael over the top. Another bounce.
The worry when Gehrig went for that mark was that he was looking for Mal Michael. He's just got to concentrate on attacking the ball. As the ball was coming down to the big full forward, he turned his eyes, wondered where Mal Michael was. So the presence of Michael is already worrying Fraser Gehrig.
Michael climbing in there to assist Charman. Danger though, Del Santo on the non-preferred, gave it up to Black. That's not crash hot either. Harvey's first touch. Miscue almost off the shin, but a good result. Guerra is plumb in front.
Chris Johnson, his opponent, just gave him 5 metres. Good kick by Robert Harvey under pressure to put it to a dangerous spot. And Chris Johnson playing in such a... You'll see Johnson there.
Gee.
Johnson, that 5 metres behind, playing in a successful team as Johnson has over the last 3 seasons. He just backs himself, and he's got to be really careful, particularly early in the game, that he doesn't give his opponents latitude like that, because this fella with the footy rarely misses.
Umpire Rowe has been generous, and Guerra cashes in. Margin back to 3 points. Saints taking a while to get their first, but almost 15 minutes in, they're on the board. Great source of goals for them this year, and of some well-applied vigour.
Little bit happening off the ball. Here's Jonathan Brown as the power was coming off, taken off by the runner, and Brown got in the middle there and just decided to give him a little send-off.
Well, he's a big, strong country boy, and so's his opponent, 2.5 years younger. But Brown with the 3 premierships in the cupboard.
Noble the tap to Hayes, runs into a wall of Lions. Power, the quick kick. It's inside the Lions 50. Hutchton to Jones, and he's got plenty of time. Kick doesn't find its intended target in Hayes. He's got time to recover. Brown's there to spoil the handball. Got out under pressure. Well done by the Lions forwards.
And that's what we've been waiting for. The 2 brothers playing on each other, and Vossi's gone down towards the goal square. What do you see, Sauce?
Yes, the 2 Vosses are on each other, and Jonathan Brown just at the ball ups, he just steps away from the centre half forward position, leaves that hole open to allow his on balls to run through.
Brown to Power, who taps it over to McRae. He loves a goal, Craig McRae. On the left, goal! The little goal sneak does not miss many, Robert Walls.
No, he doesn't, Steve. He's a wonderful player for Brisbane. He's a veteran. The little number 4, his opponent is Maxie Hudson, and he just gets away from Max. And you can see there's Max 5 metres off him, goes onto his preferred side, and that's his 8th goal for the season. And he'll kick goals, he'll set goals up, as he did that first goal for Michael Voss, and you'll also see him being probably the best tackler in the Brisbane forward line.
Now, major test for Brisbane as they have to give Charman a rest, and Brennan is on and in the ruck. And his coach's eyes on him in number 17 in the sleeves. Rare to see a ruckman in sleeves. They like to show their muscles and intimidate as best they can.
He's hurt him straight up, Tim.
Boy, shocking start. Saints forward immediately. Riewoldt weighted down. Just wouldn't fall for him. Well done, Lepic. Not a good hand pass. Goddard has been excellent in the early part, and that was beautifully done. Gehrig ought to go back. And he will.
And Jared Brennan at that centre bounce, he has been absolutely crunched. You can see that, the knee in the midriff, and that's what you get when you put up a number 4 or
in the
5
ring against a pro.
Absolutely, a number 4 or 5 ruckman. It's not his fault. This kid is a talented player, but he's not a ruckman. But Brisbane's got 4 top-class ruckmen. 3 of them are injured.
That's a real rib breaker, that one, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Gehrig shot to rub it in. A 4th miss. They trail by 8 points.
He's going to come off here, Robert. Now, this could be the end of Brendan for the night if it is a broken or badly bruised ribs.
Yeah,
he won't be able to ruck, that's for sure.
Well, is he going to want to go back into those contests?
Well, he'll have to, Tim. It's a real test for him, a real mental test for him. And I reckon Lee Matthews will be on the phone saying, well, you're hurt, we need you, suck it in, and when you go out again, I want to see your eyes on the ball and full bore ahead.
I think he's spot on, Rob. He's straight on the dog and bone as we speak. Michael, good kick to Charman, who's had to come back on. Penetrating kick, Lynch wrestling, Voss is there, Lynch got both hands onto it but couldn't hang on to it, and Aussie Jones clears for the Saints, and his short kick finds Noble. It's a surprise they chose Brennan to go against Noble. I thought they might have used him to go against Kazitsky.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Well, Thomas opened with Kosicki, and that might have caught Brisbane by surprise.
I'm sure it did. And the early tactics, strategies have gone to Grant Thomas because everybody expected Trent Noble to open up in the ruck. It wasn't. It was Kosicki. And then we thought, well, maybe Schwarze will get a go in the ruck. We saw Noble. So what Grant Thomas is doing is rucking two giants in this first quarter.
Now it's Noble and Charman. Sounds like an English tea party. Noble, of course, banished from Brisbane. And Noble was one of those on their list of ruckmen that caused him to become redundant. St Kilda forced via the Cape, but they do it pretty well. Now Guerra leads in the race. 3 goals to 1. Here it is again. That is a cruncher.
And I wouldn't be at all surprised if that was something that was discussed through the week. Jared Brennan at his first bounce, let him know he's alive.
Well, a few light heavyweights have climbed into the ring against heavyweight champions, and most of them have gone that way. Lenny Hayes now. Good kick. Well done, Michael. Kosicki, his opponent in that contest. Michael won it hands down.
Kosicki back on. He's gone to full forward. Mel Michael's taken him.
Thompson spoils hard. The spoils go to Gehrig with strength, breaks the tackle, dishes to Hayes, and his pass finds Harvey on the third bite.
Opportune fumble. He actually took the ball about 2 metres closer to goal.
And Michael Voss off for a bit of a spell. But they've rearranged their forward line, the Saints. Noble's doing the ruck work. Kosicki's gone to full forward. And Gehrig is pushed out across half forward with Riewoldt.
So Rob Harvey kicked 2 goals this season. He's got 162 in his 283 game career. What a record. 8 times an All-Australian, a dual Brownlow medalist. One weakness in his game has been kicking for goal. And boy, have the Saints missed some opportunities here. They are hurting in front of goal as we go to Christy Malthouse.
Well, Jared Brennan is having real trouble breathing at the moment. The doctors are just checking his ribs and trying to get him to breathe in and breathe out. They've been on the phone speaking to the coach. Obviously wants to know if he can get back out there soon or not. And it doesn't look like it.
5 misses from the Saints. Johnson's hooked that very wide. Too wide.
They kick to that spot a lot, Brisbane. Open up the space and then wide leading to the boundary line, and it was just out by about half a metre.
Luke Ball, one of the whiz kids of Moorabbin, 2004. Very high ball. Not giving Riewoldt a chance. Lepic with plenty of outriders. Johnson, Black, Lappin. And Brisbane doing it a little too easily there. Now their forward half is open. What can Ackermanis do? Well done, Penny. McRae dangerous. Acker's running into space. He's on the end of it. Rare error. Lynch still a chance. Still a chance. Impossible for the goal umpire if it had gone either side of the post, but it went so wide he could read it.
Jason Ackermanis will be kicking himself for muffing that.
Meantime, Aussie Jones brings the ball to half-back. Ball is tackled by Black. And we will have a bounce.
Says something for the stature and the tension of this match, doesn't it? That even great players are making the odd error.
Well, St Kilda this year, their accuracy has been fantastic. They're #1 in the competition in accuracy and kicking for goal, but they've been terrible tonight. As speaking of accuracy, Powers put it out of bounds on the full. So really going against the trend where they're kicking for goal tonight so far, St Kilda, with 1 goal 5. And there have been at least 3 relatively easy misses. Charman against Noble. Copeland's the third man up. Lappin keeps it alive. Ball. And St Kilda out of danger as his kick finds Hutchton.
And he has in space Heath Black. In midfield is Jones, and Jones can tear through the corridor and set it up for Gehrig. Should have done better. Michael. Now Brennan, who's back. Well, that's great to see for Brisbane. Shattuck now. Hanging in the air for Brown. His third mark. Causing problems for Maguire. Pike went one way. On the lead, though, is Lynch. Just about in the back. Penny riding the law book close. Scott, well tackled. Hudgston's an old pro as a defender. Fisher in the Hayes direction, but Johnson too good.
White receives. And the loose man at half was McRae, but there was too much juice on the kick. Ackermanis gets buffeted out of it. Now Black mops up. Good kick to the wing. Rewalt against Johnson, who spoiled well. Clever little soccer. Couldn't find Thompson. Hayes backs up. Desperate stuff from Power. Courage from Guerra. Great hard ball get. Great tackle. We'll have a bounce. Oh, it doesn't get much tougher than that.
Oh, great football. Courage. Good tackling. And you can see Gehrig's gone back to the goal square. Actually, Lepic is his opponent, who's playing that 15 metres in front. And Kazitsky's at full forward on Mel Michael.
Rewalt, slick hands. Thompson has a chance here, and Thompson has missed another one for the Saints. That's 1 goal, 6 to the Lions, 3 straight.
Inside 50s. Even for both sides, 15 each as we come towards the end of this first quarter.
And the scorecard just about encapsulates it, doesn't it? The professionals, the champions, have seized their opportunities. The challengers, perhaps a little awed by the nature of this. 1 from 7. Lovely kick, Johnson. Lappin. Time enough for a score or two before the bell goes to end round 1. Daring kick, but very good. Lepic has edged off the mark. Now Rewalt can intercept. Just dropped his head there, but cocked it behind the ears and takes it free.
10 here, please.
Voss doing some running. Hayes in some space. Clever little kick. Kazitsky within range. And a straight kick to tie it up.
And Lenny Hayes was just marvellous with his composure there. Didn't rush the kick, just hung on to it. He knew Kazitsky was free, couldn't quite see him, waited and then found him.
Coming back, edging through. Scores level. It was a kick to send a tremor through a president and a CEO. But there wasn't much on the scoreline for Brisbane. I don't know whether it was touchable. It didn't carry through at great height.
It certainly dipped, Tim. I think in the end it would have been hard to get a hand on it, but they needed that one, the Saints, because they've been attacking without a lot of success at putting it through the big sticks.
Goal to Kazitsky, levels it up. Things still getting pretty tight. Guerra, nice little hip and shoulder on White. He's fixed a few up this year. As we see a big Saints fan in Lindsay Fox. Some heavy hitters there.
Let's see how Jared Brennan goes at this ruck contest.
He'll protect the ribs. That's better. Got first hand onto it. Pike head over the ball.
He was pretty smart, Jared Brennan. He didn't come straight on. He took a little bit of an arc, Tim.
How ironic that it was Noble who just about put him out of business. Noble, who was on Brisbane's list, and they didn't need him because they had a long list. And now they're having a makeshift young ruckman against him.
Full credit, though, to the 19-year-old. He's come straight back out. That takes a lot of guts. He's obviously hurting. Now the Lions through Notting. Deep inside 50. Ackermanis has been quiet. Hudgston got it to Jones, who went without it.
Ackermanis, who is in picture there, he's been moved to the goal square with Alistair Lynch. And it just shows the... and his pace when he let out there was brilliant. And let's have a look at... Ackermanis has got Max Hudgston as his opponent.
Oh, Brennan over the top to Ackermanis. That was spectacular. Lappin to Lynch, who got clean bowled. The ball's still alive. And in the end, it's a rush behind. How about that for some ruck work, Robert Walls?
And it reminds me so much of a Darryl White going back 12 years ago when Darryl White was starting his career. Tall, skinny, athletic, brilliant leap. How good was that? That'll do his confidence the world of good.
Oh, that's a dangerous kick in. Black. Here's Brennan. He's taken a standing 8 count, and now he might set up a goal.
And Lee Matthews, well coached. Ackermanis not getting much of it out on the wing. Heath Black doing a good job on him. Puts Ackermanis forward. You can hear the crowd booing him. They don't like him. But you called it, Tim. That's a pretty dangerous kick down the middle. It's got to come off.
And Ackermanis gives Brisbane a buffer.
Unselfish from Brennan, wasn't it, too?
Yeah. Yes, and again, it reminds me so much of Darryl White just trying to do the team thing.
Interesting, Lindsay Fox watching two Saints running into each other, and Lindsay once sacked a coach when he saw that happen back in 1980.
The Lions by 7 points. Almost quarter time. Powell shoveled it out to Harvey with strength. Got through a couple. Now to Black. Time for the Saints. Looks for Rewalt. Lepic snapping at his heels. And just a subtle little push into the fence.
Stevie Milne yet to have a kick.
Brennan again, spectacular leap, great tap. Del Santo.
Handball.
Handball comes to Brad Scott. Now Brennan. Oh, got one right in the back from Lenny Hayes. That's got to hurt too. And the Brisbane Lions remonstrate with the skipper from St Kilda. And Jared Brennan has had a torrid time of it. As Lepic comes in, there's the knees from Hayes. And still a bit of push and shove going on here. As the umpire's quick to come in. And the players disperse. So quarter time. It was a good first quarter. It's just starting to build. At the first change, Brisbane 4-1-25. Lead St Kilda 2-6-18. The margin at the first change, 7 points. And boy, that man, Jared Brennan, needs a breather.
Yes, well, we've got White, Lepic and also Mel Michael. They're well spread apart by the St Kilda forward line, so they're trying to spread the three key forwards apart.
Keep it moving. My ball.
Turn out the back.
Fraser Gehrig had an easy set shot at goal in that first quarter. Only a behind. As Fraser is leading goal scorer in the competition this season with 25 so far, averaging 5 a game. Voss got the handball out. That's Voss for St Kilda. Copeland against Guerra. Copeland soccers. So a somewhat sedate start to this second turn.
Two Brownlow medalists playing on each other in Voss and Harvey.
Charmer with strength won that one nicely. Knocked further on by Pike. Only as far as Voss, sweeping handball. The bounce favours Brisbane. Charman to Pike. He's been busy, Pike. This is touch number 7. Voss once again. Brown splits the pack. Now has time to steady and finishes nicely to Black.
They look steadier. Now Jones and Ackermanis. Ackermanis to a one-on-one. Lynch with the sit, and he's got it. No, touch, play on. Boy, that was tough. Oh, and Lynch is not happy. Boy, if the umpire's seen that, you'd think there'll have to be follow-up.
And now 50 metres for abusing the umpire.
What about the fist into the midriff?
Gee, the umpire's obviously in the best spot, but
look to mark from here.
They're most often paid, aren't they?
He's an angry man.
Disappointing result for him. Penny to Hayes. St Kilda lucky to get out of that without surrendering more ground. Rewald has been able to slip away from Lepic here without going to the centre line to do it. Now Kazitsky.
And Steve Silvani, Lepic just has to pay more respect to Rewalt.
No doubt, he's just falling off him at the moment, Rob. It's interesting to note that Garrick is actually starting about 25 metres out from the goal square, and they've opted to have Kazitsky in the goal square, who has a bit of height over Darryl White. So good move by Grant Thomas.
Virtually identical shot to the one from the left forward pocket that he kicked in the first quarter, and that's an even better kick. It's back to 1 point.
And Steve, I reckon Grant Thomas has looked at Darryl White and considered Darryl White to be the weak link of the three big Brisbane defenders and decided to put him in a dangerous spot in a position where the pressure's right on him. And Jason Ackermanis been moved back towards the wing. As soon as he goes to the wing position, Heath Black, number 6, will pick him up.
Brisbane by 1 point. Power in the middle. To Notting. Dishes to Pike. Number 8 for Martin Pike this evening, and his kick is good. Finds Scott on centre wing. Charman calling for it, and he kicks in his direction. Sets himself. Almost took the pack mark. Black continuing his good form. Got it to Voss. Back to Black. Oh, it's a dodgy old handball. And that is a very, very lucky break for St Kilda.
I think Alistair Lynch has still got the angry pills.
See, what was he thinking there with the handball?
Put Penny under enormous pressure, didn't it?
And they're still rattled. As the kick out, the short pass has been chopped off by Voss.
Well, their defence on paper has been their Achilles, hasn't it? We've all recognised that, but they have conceded only an average of 10 goals per match thus far this season. But just at the moment, the pressure is starting to tell.
So Michael Voss, he got one of the first term. He's only 25 out, and he splits the middle. Two to Voss, and well, perhaps Lions fans can argue they've been a little bit stiff in the last couple of forays forward, but they finally got a goal, and that was the mistake through which they scored the 6-pointer.
And just too easy to turn over 6 points to the opposition like that. And Steve Silvani, the change has been made.
It has. Darryl White has now gone to Garrick, and Michael has gone to Kazitsky. The runner came straight out once Kazitsky took that mark and kicked that goal. So certainly they know that Darryl White isn't comfortable from the goal square.
Perhaps the real problem at the other end of the ground, where Penny tried to give a goal away once and then kicked it to his opposing captain, who slotted it back over his head. Pike under the pump. No prior opportunity. Lenience granted. Hayes doing the heavy work for Harvey. Screwing kick. And Del Santo unflinching there under the high curling ball. Saints could do with a steadier here. Clark. Nice kick. Rewald in the middle. Gehrig at the back. But didn't go hard enough at the footy. Lepic to Notting. And Brisbane are comfortably out of trouble. And this is bold running. Drawing the tackler for Hart. The old pro's very cool. Brown.
Just doesn't he work for front position all the time, Jonathan Brown?
5 marks to Brown. Kick was partially smothered. Hart attacks it. Good work by Maguire. Hayes mops up. Jesus, pressure out there. The likes of which the Saints have not experienced so far this season. And it's another turnover as Brown takes mark number 6. to Brad Scott, to Lappin. Target is Ackermanis against Black. Well played, Black. Saints have numbers at the ball. Del Santo with his head over it. Good tackle, Ackermanis. And he's unlucky not to get a free kick there, Jason Ackermanis.
That was a super effort by Jason Ackermanis. He just zoned off. You can just see here, he doesn't rush in, doesn't give away a reckless free kick, waits and then wraps up. Well done.
Brisbane by 7 points. And there'll be another ball up. Remember the lead up to the grand final and the talk about which team would keep its head over the football. Brisbane had no doubts about their ability to do it. And the same sort of warfare is being waged. No, I'm not. I'm just watching this match closely. And another ball up.
Only gagging.
Clearances of 14-9 in favour of Brisbane. Andrew Thompson on the bench, usually comes on about halfway through it. Maxie Hudson next to him.
Voss becoming a ruckman there. Maguire banging it forward, but just banging aimlessly, and Johnson to Lepic. And this looks good for Brisbane. Brad Scott running into space as Black. Scott losing his footing. Here's Ackermanis though.
Backer says, what about 50 metres?
Testing time for the Saints. That is an ambitious kick. And Brett Voss, who took 14 marks in the match against Brisbane here last year that St Kilda won, was able to take a comfortable one and give it to Del Santo and then to Goddard.
Milnes lurking on the wing. He's just come on. And takes the mark in front of Charman.
That's his first possession.
So Stephen Milne. The Lions by 7 points. Short to Goddard. Goes into the pocket. Gehrig just caught behind White there. He looks, well, he can't be disinterested, but just looks a little bit out of sorts, Fraser Gehrig at the moment. Lappin with his head over the foot. He did it nicely. To White, to Pike. Back to Lappin. Charman on one knee. Dishes to his skipper. Now left foot kick to Brown against Maguire. Brown. Big tackle by Noble, but the umpire deemed it was illegal.
Second effort by Jonathan Brown, magnificent. Maguire got the spoil on. You've got to continue on after that. This big fella did. Got the free kick.
Chopped off by Ball, just couldn't hang on. Now Power. Very cleverly done, beautifully done. Pike. Brisbane building again. You get the feeling the pressure is mounting on the Saints. They're vulnerable here. Lynch in front. Well done by Voss. McRae from the impossible angle. Ackermanis! One on each side of him. And he it was who had his eyes on the ball and read its fall perfectly. Can he bend it back? There are some things even Acker can't do. Brisbane by 8.
Brendan Goddard playing very wide on a half-forward flank. Part of that deal is to take Nigel Lappin, his opponent, the playmaker for Brisbane, out of the action. So Goddard sacrificing his role for the good of the side.
Lappin 9 disposals, Goddard 7. There's Austin Jones marks in the back pocket. Good. So he's hemmed in here, Aussie Jones. Brown got the front position against Maguire, but no mark.
He's just a workhorse, Jonathan Brown.
10 disposals, 6 marks, Robert, so far.
6 marks. You just admire the fact that he always works for front position. He doesn't cheat. He doesn't drop out of the game. He just keeps presenting all the time.
Ball. Great ball to Lenny Hayes. Bit of class there as Hayes finds Rewalt. Out wide across half forward. There's the lead from Kazitsky. He ignores him. He goes long. White and Gehrig! Too strong for White, who is having a bit of a dirty night. And Fraser Gehrig surely can't miss from here.
Steve, that's the worry for Brisbane, Daryl White.
Well, no doubt. I can't understand why Gehrig hasn't gone back to the goal square, why he's had White, but it was well done by Kosicki. He took Mel Michael out of the play and left Daryl White and Gehrig one-on-one.
Fraser Gehrig for goal 26 for the season, has no trouble. First for the night to the G train. And it is a 2-point ball game. Lions 32, St Kilda 30.
And again, Riewoldt getting out in front of Leppich. The long kick to the strongest man in the side. Ideally, Lee Matthews would like to have Mel Michael on Gehrig.
Two points in it. Saints staying there. Noble and Charman, eyes for each other, perhaps they're nodding to Pike. A lot of hang time with this. Nothing there for Brisbane, and Voss takes his fourth mark for the night and his best. His brother's having a spell on the bench. Hadley's on. Oh, with the flight, a wonderful attempt by Hadley, fresh off the bench. Charman didn't see Clark coming. Big and strong enough to get it off. Scott, Pike, Saints applying pressure. McRae. Nothing there except a couple of men in orange. Battle of the Goliaths here. How much influence can he have through this long season as the bones of those knees creak a little at times? Brown beautifully to Hart. Disciplined kick, didn't go for goal, but there was nothing there. And it's another Brett Voss mark.
He's smart Brett Voss, leads his opponent. He knows the Brisbane game plan.
Not a great kick though, is Johnson. He could go all the way here. No, he doesn't. He goes short. Brown against Brown and Ackermanis almost spoil each other. Powell, quick hands to Hayes, to Fisher. St Kilda out of trouble. Charman just chops off Kosicki. Well done by the big man, and we'll have a throw in.
Well, Kosicki's gone into the ruck, and Trent Noble's gone down to full forward. And Mel Michael has Noble. How do you see that, Steve?
Yeah, well, he does have Noble, Mel Michael. It's just so important. Trent Noble takes Mel Michael out of the play and tries to get Gehrig one-on-one with White.
Push him out to Jamie.
There's a bit of sacrifice involved, but he must do it.
Ruck infringement goes St Kilda's way. It's Kosicki. Long kick towards Riewoldt. Johnson. Oh, Milne did well to pinch it. But Copeland sees him over the line.
When you consider that next time they play, you'd expect Hamill to be there for St Kilda. The task for Brisbane becomes that much taller.
Yes, and I would think, Tim, they don't want to move Martin Pike back there as a fourth tall defender. In a perfect world, you have Pike in the midfield half-forward area.
Milne, no influence yet. There's the extra dimension in St Kilda's attacking setup. There'll be a ball up.
Guess in a perfect world, Robert, maybe Bradshaw could slot back there.
Yes, yeah, well, Bradshaw, of course, Lee Matthews has given him opportunity to play tall in defence and has shown that he can do it.
Tim Notting, country boy, cop one in the chops. He's seen better days. Now, whistle off the ball from umpire McInerney, and it's St Kilda's way.
Just interesting to see if the Saints make space for Gehrig here.
Powell sitting it up. White, spectacular. Gehrig waving off him. Harvey puts the Saints within a point. He can be extravagant around the sticks, the dual Brownlow medalist.
And the way he dropped that ball on the boot, Tim, wasn't a drop punt. He tried to do a little boomerang type kick. Didn't go on his left side. And this is the contest. Gehrig stays at the back, flips it across to Rob Harvey, and watch the way he angles the ball on the boot. Could have gone on his left side. Should have gone on his left side to put that through.
Gee, Johnson taking plenty of time. Looks for White from behind. Great mark, Del Santo, the man in front. Getting a hand on it was Copeland, but the Saints have the numbers. This is ball to Harvey in heavy traffic. Goes backwards to Powell. Smothered by Lappin. Lapich tries to bust his way through. Clark besieged by Lions. Black, quick hands to McRae. Caught high. Free kick, play on, advantage. Now Hart's away for Brisbane. Takes the ball along the wing to half forward. Ackerman slip, couldn't take the diving mark. Brown quick hands to Power. He's in trouble. Got it out. Back to McRae. McRae to Hart. 48 metres out. Hart has a shot and it is offline for a point. Frantic play from the Lions.
Gee, they just had a wave of numbers as they pushed that ball forward. Series of handballs. And there's someone having a bit of a snooze.
You'd have to be tired because it has been a wonderful contest.
I'm enjoying it, Tim.
And we're not halfway there.
And certainly the Saints haven't been overawed by the might of Brisbane.
I thought 10 minutes ago a crack or two might just be appearing, but they seem to have steadied. And they're right in the heart of it now. Here's Lappin. Ball doing some good things. Fisher gives it back to him. Now Del Santo, a natural left footer, did it well. He has a very cool head above that left foot. Revolt. Here's Gehrig. Starting to make a mark or two on it from a long way. Did it stay in? It did stay in. Guerra looking for the free kick. Won't get it. Milne. Can he work a miracle here? It was brought down. Was he legged? It's play on. The Saints are up front. It's taken a while, but the dome is officially rocking. I think there was a whistle and then perhaps an advantage call.
Yes, there was a whistle, Tim. It was a free kick. He decided to play on there, sidestep, opened up the angle. And I reckon Stephen Mill would prefer to kick one on the run than go back with the eyes of the world watching him.
And plenty of rough stuff too, continuing off the ball. Well, off the ball is Johnson and Noble. A little bit outsized, but he's having a crack. Oh, and there is Lenny Hayes. I think that was Lenny Hayes, wasn't it? And that one was probably worth another look.
I'm sure
you know what
it will
I mean.
be given one.
Back in the middle. It's the Saints in front. First time they've kicked back-to-back goals. Notting. Pow. Over to Lenny Hayes. The skipper's got some room to move. He runs to 45. And he just misses to the left.
Gone up a gear, the Saints. Let's have a look at the centre bounce. Jared Brennan, no eyes for the ball. He's a little bit concerned about where the opposition ruckman is.
Let's have another look at that Lenny Hayes one. And that was Notting who copped it high, and no doubt that will be looked at again. Unfortunately for the St Kilda skipper.
The extent of the damage will be a factor. Johnson a long ball. Clark. Thompson, a little slow. Lappin, pressure. Saints everywhere. Hayes, beautifully done. But there were enough tacklers there to keep the pressure on. Notting, still St Kilda. Harvey. Revolt is there and he's got it.
Steve, Lepich, is he Rewalt's opponent?
He is. There's some, not too sure whether Lepich got caught in the kick out there, and Revolt just held the zone and he was just left alone and was standing there for a good 10 seconds or so.
And Fraser Gehrig, a couple of good tackles to lock the ball in.
Yeah, they're working a lot harder at the moment, the St Kilda forward line.
They've kicked the last two. The first time tonight they've strung two together. And now it's three. Well, we've been using the boxing match analogy, and it really is a classic bout. The champions landed the cleaner punches in the first round and looked to have the challengers just a little shaky early in the second, but now the challengers have come storming back.
Here's another angle of this Hayes and Notting clash, and it's interesting to see, Robert Walls, that the big guns have gone in the middle for Brisbane. When the pressure is on, you got Ackermanis and Voss in the centre square.
Well, Michael Voss went off halfway through that second quarter. A couple of quick goals to St Kilda. He's straight back on.
Brennan in the ruck. It was won by Kazitsky. Pike, disposal number 12. It's inside Brisbane's 50. But Jones wins the football. Not much to kick to. And consequently, he's put it down the throat of Martin Pike. 6 inside 50s to Pike. Goes sideways to Hadley, the man who played in a premiership team in his 4th game of football. Penetrating kick. Here's Lynch around the body. Not a bad effort. In the end, just shaved the post, the outside of the post. And a point to Lynch. That's his first score for the night as Brennan comes off. Still sucking in the air after getting that real rib rattler in the first quarter from Noble. It's the Saints by 10 points as we near half-time.
They've kicked 4-2 to 1-3 in this term. Good kick from Jones to Black. Hayes with plenty against him. Did it beautifully.
13th disposal for Lenny Hayes.
Has led from the front. Powell. Saints working it comfortably down that city side of the ground. The Lions don't want to concede another close to half-time. Charman in front, safe. Big frame, strong pair of hands, and Revolt coming off second best.
There's Brett Voss on the mark of his brother Michael.
His brother's keeper.
And Brett's playing a wonderful game. 9 disposals, 5 marks. As Michael switches. And coming on for the Lions as Corrie gets his first touch. Goes back to Michael.
It's been a really good quarter by St Kilda. They have restricted Brisbane to just the 1 goal.
Troy! That's the mark, Troy!
And Steve, the Saints have changed their forward setup a bit.
Well, they have. They've taken one of their key position players off in Trent Noble, who was up forward, and they've opted to take Fraser Garrick back to the goal square and line Milne up against him. So obviously their structure has changed.
Well, the Lions are throwing it around in their back half, just trying to create some sort of space, but at the moment the Saints have got their match. Now Ackermanis leads. It's a nice round of applause from the Saints fans. Grant Thomas will be very satisfied with his second term. Kazitsky flew. Rewalt stayed down. Manages to squeeze the kick out. It's a good one too. It finds Black on centre wing. Has room to move. And he finds Voss.
Back 2 metres. Chris, 2 metres. Thank you.
No, Brett Voss. His kick finds Maguire. On the left boot. Into the pocket. Gehrig. Lepic gets back and goes safety first.
And good to see Matty Maguire run off. And you can see Lepic saying to Mal Michael, talk to me, let me know what's going on, because had he known he was the only one up, he would have marked that ball. He thought that there was a pack situation coming on him.
100 seconds left. St Kilda doing all the attacking late in the piece here.
No!
Against-
Fraser, get up! Now your ball!
Against
Fraser, please!
Fraser, yep, for catching the ball at the boundary throw-in.
It is sudden death if you do. But the temptation is still there, especially that close to goal.
Seen a couple of angry full forwards tonight, Tim, and we're not even halfway through.
Michael, mongrel kick, falls well. Black hasn't had a huge influence. 7 possessions only. Very quiet half of footy. Voss in the way and takes another mark. He's into double figures, is he? Seven.
7 marks, 11th disposal.
So he's halfway to the tally he achieved in the match last year. Guerra appealing for it, won't be paid.
Didn't get first go.
So not long left for either team to score. The Saints by 10 points, approaching the long interval.
Jones against Ackermanis. Jones won it. Voss another touch to Hayes, who's had a wonderful first half. To Black. Good tackle laid by Charman. Turnover. Here's Corrie. To Ackermanis. Still might be time here for the Lions. McRae couldn't hang on to it. Voss yet again. Hadley to Ackermanis. Then he goes long there, a chance. He looks for Lynch. Can't take the diving mark. Great tackle by Hart on Maguire. And that is half-time at Telstra Dome. And the margin is 10 points. Robert Walls in favour of St Kilda.
Fantastic quarter of football by the Saints. They were able to kick 4 goals. Brisbane could only kick 1. And I would think that Grant Thomas will go in at half-time very happy with what his charges have shown him.
It has been tough and rough. A match so far befitting a championship bout.
Well, they tipped it to be a blockbuster, and how true that has been so far. We have seen a fantastic game and the crowd is loving it. A fog has descended onto the ground. It is a very cold night in Melbourne. Both coaches have been heavily rotating through the benches. The Saints at 20 times to Brisbane's 11. And you would think they would continue to do so in the second half to keep those fresh legs in the last quarter. But I can tell you no player would want to sit on the bench for too long. 1, because it's too cold, and 2, because they want to get back out into this fantastic action.
Thanks, Christy Malthouse.
Yes, the Saints going with the tall forward line. Kazitsky up in the goal square. Rewalt at centre-half forward, and Gehrig down there inside the forward 50. And I think, Steve, that's shown to be a bit of a concern to the Brisbane defence. Fraser Gehrig. He's sacrificed a bit for his teammates tonight, and that's something that the St Kilda players have done throughout. And they've handled this big occasion particularly well.
The Vaseline has gone from Jonathan Brown's eyebrows, but he's still got that mean look. As we start the third term, the Saints lead by 10 points. Can they keep their undefeated run in 2004 intact? Hayes gets the first possession. Inside 50, St Kilda go. Here's the dangerous Milne. Doesn't need much of an opportunity. Kicked a sensational goal in the second quarter, but not this time. As Black, the handball to Lappin, intercepted by Harvey. As Copeland and Milne have a chat behind play.
And there's the Voss brothers. Michael Voss playing as a forward. Brett playing him from 10 metres in front.
Charman won the tap. Here's Ball to Black, number 14, as he squares it up. White from the side, not quite. Michael gave it up to Gehrig. He's been tricked. And Fraser Gehrig has got the free directly in front, 35 metres out, and this should be the perfect start for St Kilda in the third term.
And we're less than a minute into this third quarter, and we saw Rob Harvey intercept a Lappin handball and Fraser Gehrig intercept a handball, and that's really good work when your forwards are working like that to keep the ball locked in, and in the end it gives them goal-scoring opportunities.
And I don't know whether Darryl White needed to fly, because Copeland looked as though he had Milne covered in the aerial contest.
It was a bit extravagant.
They kicked the last 3 goals, St Kilda. Oh, and Fraser Gehrig has missed again. That's his second miss from, well, really point-blank range for a player of his ability. So 1 goal, 2 to Gehrig. It really should be 3 straight. Lucky let off for the Lions.
Now Copeland. The Lions have some work to do here. Saints growing in confidence. Back to Johnson. Not a lot of targets, but there is one, and that's Lepic, who backs himself against Noble, who kept him under pressure and forced an untidy error.
And another example, Tim, of pressure being put on by the St Kilda forwards, and in that case their ruckman to force error. 3 examples in the first 2 minutes of this quarter.
And in fact gets a reward in the form of the free kick, so the ball hadn't travelled very far off the boot before it went out. And St Kilda can build up again. Not a spare seat in the house. Great scene here. White making a good spoil. Harvey, though. And now Kazitsky, who's been the wild card up there. Harvey again. Del Santo. Powell, the overhead. Harvey running into the wall. Johnson. Notting fell at the crucial moment. Voss had to come in and mop up and drew the high tackle. And Brisbane are away.
Power. And the mark's taken by Anthony Corrie, playing his third game of league football on centre wing.
Brisbane only have 2 players in their team tonight who aren't premiership players. Corrie one, Brennan the other.
Towards Brown, Maguire over the top. And we'll have a throw in.
Thanks, Bucky.
So slightly into the Lions attacking territory. Sharman makes his way to the contest and will be up against Noble. Brown. Handballs in the direction of Corrie. But again, a stalemate here. Just see there in the background a little bit of fog, bit of smoke. The roof closed as always at night here at Telstra Dome. Powers kick smothered. Good second effort to Ackermanis. Brown and Maguire wrestle. Hayes.
And there's Michael to his younger brother. Cop that.
Well, the mum and dad would be too pleased about that. Ball. Harvey. And those wonderful ball skills still to the fore, giving Gehrig a chance. Big man, but good acceleration. Michael strong. So another throw in. The arm wrestle on.
Yeah, a bit of an arm wrestle, isn't it? Very hard to get freed up. Plenty of ruck contests. And Jamie Charman doing the ruck work for Brisbane. His relief is Jared Brennan, who's playing in the forward line at the start of this third quarter.
Charman trying to barge through, but couldn't get through that wall.
And it's the first game that Brisbane's played for something like 3 or 4 years where they haven't had 2 huge ruckmen.
It'll be into the room and no TV for a week for those two in a minute.
Slipped up high.
Free kick to Black.
Easy, guys. Yours.
Oh, that is a great mark from Kazitsky. That is strong hands. And Justin Kazitsky will line up 45 out for goal number 3.
And Steve Silvani, we saw Gehrig run one way, Rewalt the other, and they made space down the middle for Kazitsky on Darryl White.
Well, there's no doubt that 3 of them need to work each other. This is the matchup they need to expose. Obviously, Kazitsky got height and probably greater strength than Darryl White.
Marks inside 50, 11-5 in favour of the Saints. Kazitsky left to right, just the point.
It's an in-swinger, Tim.
Yes, he wanted the straight one there. But he's been an important player.
And there's Jared Brennan, opposed by Maxie Hudson. And Maxie Hudson, after being out of the game for something like 10 weeks, looks as if he hasn't missed a beat.
4.5 minutes of playing time. Brisbane haven't mounted an attack. Can they do it here? Michael to White. Ackermanis with runners. Lappin. Well weighted, but Power running into trouble. And Clark making the steal as though it was meant to be his. Hayes and Harvey growing in influence. Had a lot of options. Not sure that that's the best of them. Becomes the worst. White to Corrie. Ackermanis again. Brisbane trying to make something happen. Power now on his wrong side. And that's not a good kick. Noble.
That's mine.
3-on-1 here in favour of the Lions. Lynch with his head over the football. Gets it to Voss. Over to Johnson. Hayes lays the great tackle just in the nick of time, but Johnson manages to get it to Ackermanis, who twists and turns onto the left, snaps at goal. It's not a bad effort, but Penny cuts it off at the last moment, and his kick into the pocket just finds Hudson before the boundary line arrives. Now Hayes. As the Saints work it out of defence to the wing. Rewell will get there on the first bounce. To Fisher. The old 1-2 back to Rewell. Good build here by the Saints. Chips it. Gehrig.
Wonderful kick by Nick Rewell. All Fraser Gehrig had to do was just keep his pace up, motor out, and Mel Michael was always just 1.5 meters behind, was never going to make up that ground. And just look at the way he just pulls the kick, just pops it up.
2-1 to Fraser Gehrig. Thumping kick is a beauty. Gee, made that look easy. That's gone every bit of 60 metres.
Well, when he just goes back and relaxes, have a look at him on the lead. Just gets that metre and a bit. And the kick is perfect. The kick is what sets the goal up by Nick Rewell. And Gehrig does well to take it with arms outstretched. Gee, the effort of Mel Michael on the mark there was non-existent.
Are we seeing a changing of the guard? Early days, I know, but the Saints lead by 3 goals, and they look very good, very composed. Here they go again. Lepic for Pike, with Hayes bearing down. Johnson, no easy kicks for the Lions at the moment, although Johnson does well here. Brown to Black. Voss now. Can he beat off his brother? Ackermanis. He loves these. He doesn't miss them.
It was a fair handball, wasn't it?
Just a wonderful handball by Michael Voss. He knew where Ackermanis was running. The handball was right in his path. We'll have a look at it coming up. Ball taken by Voss. Left handball into space. Knows the pace of this man. He gathers it in one hand. Oh, someone's down.
Now, in the commercial break, there's been an incident off the ball. Steve Silvani.
Yeah, there was a bit happening off the ball. Alistair Lynch has just run into Max Hudson. Hudson was trying to intimidate Jared Brennan. Lynch came in as a show of strength, and there is a free kick now at the centre square bounce.
Well, Hudson seems okay. It's a free kick in the middle.
Start with now, okay?
To Trent Noble.
Needed that goal, Brisbane.
What a handball from Michael Voss, by the way.
Been over a quarter since they kicked a goal.
Noble's kick is a floater. Allows Lepic to pick it off. Clark's been quiet, but he's got a chance here. Runs to 48, and the X-Man has kicked a goal. Well, that will put a lot of wind in the St.Kilda sails. A bit of a fracas off the ball, and then Xavier Clark made it look easy from about 48 metres out. He's been quiet, but he made the most of that opportunity.
Well, he read the Lepic spoil to perfection. And have a look at Maxie Hudson go up to Alistair Lynch and say, that's your goal. That's the goal that set us up. Thanks for the free kick. Thanks for the goal.
We want to be playing on Alistair Lynch right at the minute.
Back to 18 points. Sharman winning that well. Shattuck.
Good tackle.
Ball up.
Well, boys, good tackle, man. Thanks, Luke.
A very important answer that. Simon Black leaving the field just as that goal was kicked. Hart coming back. Hasn't been Black's night. I wonder if all is well with him. Hayes again in the traffic. Getting the hard ball out. Goddard. Copeland. Loose now for Fisher. Gehrig and Michael wrestling. Gehrig getting rid of him. He can do it on his preferred side. Very wide. Saints by 19, their biggest lead.
And this is what happened with Maxie Hudson and Alistair Lynch. Just the end of it. Missed the start of it. Alistair Lynch giving away 3 free kicks to this stage of the game.
White's little chip kick to Lappin on defensive 50. He's got Charman free on the wing. Thompson gets back to make a contest and did it beautifully. Well played, Andrew Thompson. Squares it up to half forward, got out underneath. Power spoils. Copeland, quick hands to White. Not a lot to go to. Forced to handball to Pike. Puts him under the hammer. Good run down by Guerra. McRae against Fisher. Fisher's got support. Clever tap to Jones. Here come the Saints again. Looks for Kazetsky. 55 out. Left foot kick to Rewalt. Cleverly done by Corrie. Did it nicely. And the Lions have the numbers to be out of trouble here as Lappin gives it back to Corrie. Oh, the kick smothered by Del Santo. Everything going right for the Saints. Thompson under pressure. Coughs it up. Pinched by Johnson somehow. Gives it to Lappin. Run down by Hayes. Play on, says the umpire. Pike was courageous. He's barreled by Hayes and gets the free kick.
Gee, is Lenny Hayes going in hard?
Oh.
And the St Kilda fans love it. Love to see their captain playing that way. And I reckon he might have said to himself, well, Aaron Hamill's not out here tonight. It's up to me. And he had his pocket picked there, Andrew Thompson, by Chris Johnson. How good was that?
Well, the gauntlet is being thrown down.
Thing that stands out to me, Tim, is the pace of St Kilda is worrying Brisbane.
Lovely mark by Noble. Gloriously timed leap. Now, did he play on? He did. And the Saints have to work for it. But they've got it under control. Hayes again, been superb. Goddard now knows how to use a footy. And he's put that to pretty good advantage. Revolt, Clark laying the shepherd. They're wasteful again. Gehrig is there. No, it hit the behind post on the full. It'll be a free kick to Brisbane. Their defence is being worked ragged at the moment.
Well, the Saints threatening to bust this game open. If the Lions can just hang in there in the next 10 minutes, perhaps they'll have a chance. Lepic drills the kick to Lynch, who's had an off night.
And just the domination by St Kilda. Inside 50 entries in this quarter, 11-3 in the Saints' favour.
50 out from the Lions' goal. Charman with strength. Fisher can't get it. Voss. Handball into space. Thompson against Lappin. Thompson importantly kicked his feet. Handballs to Jones. Hasn't got a lot to kick to. Forced to go over the top. The old 1-2 to Del Santo. Back to Jones. Now he splits it open. Runs the lines. Aussie Jones on the left boot. Into the pocket. Michael and Gehrig. Michael with strength. Sees it safely over the line. No, he doesn't. He keeps it in. Now he doesn't. So eventually we have a throw in about 40 out from the Saints' goal.
And the moral of that story is that Aussie Jones is a bit quicker than the boundary umpire.
Yeah, the pace of St Kilda really worrying Brisbane at this stage.
Gehrig, good work. Clark. Dangerous here. Brilliant, brilliant. Kazitsky dangerous now. And Noble, can the big fellow do the roving? No, he can't. Voss to Michael. Brisbane have not known this kind of pressure, I don't think, in the last 3 years. They're under siege at the moment. Ball to Maguire, and the Saints keep piling on the pressure. But that one's wayward, and it's a Brisbane free kick to be taken by White.
Well, he's got some worries, Lee Matthews. Just 6 goals on the board at the 17-minute mark of the third quarter.
Mark taken by McRae.
And at this stage, Alistair Lynch yet to kick a goal.
Crane forced to kick to a contest. Oh, that's a big mark by Brown, third man up.
Mark 7.
First for the quarter. Jonathan Brown. Wastes no time. Lynch getting back to lend some help is Fisher. Ackermanis. Oh, clever tap to Lappin. And Lappin should run on and kick a big goal for the Lions. Well, that is a big goal in the scheme of things, Robert, against the foul play.
Well, they needed it, didn't they? Because it's been all St Kilda. Big leap there by Trent Noble, but over the back came Jonathan Brown, and he powered that ball up to Alistair Lynch. Ackermanis, very clever, just so clever with the tap. Nigel Lappin ran all the way to the goals because that's the one flaw in his game. He doesn't kick enough goals. 2-7 going into this game.
Well, they're close enough, and it's not often you'd say it of Brisbane, but close enough if good enough. Comfortable takeaway to the Saints. Revolt getting there, not quite. Trying to claim it. Perhaps lucky not to be pinged there, and Justin Leppich telling the umpire that, because effectively he was diving on the ball, although it was a desperate attempt to mark it, but I think he sought to claim it and con the umpire. Guerra saw it coming off Charman's fist. With that left foot, he can probe deep. Gehrig and Michael, a wrestling match.
And I think they're the two strongest players in the AFL if you look at what they lift as far as bench press goes. Around 180 kilograms, which is just enormous.
Charman, third man up, got into the back of Gehrig. We'll have another throw in, or is it out on the full? Look at ricocheted off the Lions' foot. It did. So Del Santo, no, it's coming back to Lenny Hayes, which won't suit St Kilda. So Lenny Hayes right on the boundary line, absolutely no daylight.
Well, Lenny will be trying to pass it off if he can. As a last resort, he'll have a shot.
Looks for the Rewalt mark. Oh, the idea was right, just couldn't quite execute it. Johnson's lost it. Voss goes hard. So does Guerra. Hugged in on the boundary line. Squares it up once again. White did well to spoil under pressure. That's a trip against Kazitsky.
Relax, it's a trip. Have a free, have a free. It's a trip.
Got to watch the feet. Gee, that's a dangerous one. Justin Kazitsky stuck out the foot, and Michael's got the free.
I think that's why Mel Michael was pretty annoyed about it all.
Now Brad Scott. What tension back there. Trying to recall, Rob, whether I've seen the Brisbane defence stretched like this. Maybe in that qualifying final against Collingwood last year at the MCG.
You've got to give credit to the Saints, Tim. What we're seeing here, they are just one-on-one St Kilda. They can't get any run, any play on Brisbane. And eventually they force the error.
Poor kick from Notting. Absolutely unforced error, but Brad Scott's able to run onto it. And give it to Lynch, but a long way from home. He's become the bad guy. Well-placed kick, but too far for Brennan. And the guy the bad guy ran into a while ago is on the end of the kick. Hayes. Fisher in the proverbial paddock. Too long for Revolt. All Brisbane. Leppich. Now Hart. Forced wide.
Charman's rucked the entire quarter. And you can see we're running down to just under 5 minutes. He's had no relief at all. And this is most unusual for the big fella. Usually it's a Keating or a McDonald or a McLaren. All of them are injured.
Brennan claims the mark. Ackermanis on the boundary line. Did well to get boot to ball. Lynch ran out of space.
And Sauce, how do you see that contest with Penny and Lynch?
Oh, well, Lynch, Penny's totally under control. It's just been a lack of supply. I reckon they've only had probably 6 or 7 real contests one-on-one. The pressure upfield has been enormous by the St Kilda on balls.
Now, is that deliberate? It is. Free kick going to Ackermanis.
And anything could happen with this man with the football. We know that.
So I think he might have a ping here at Jason Ackermanis.
And the extraordinary thing is, if he kicks a goal here, Brisbane are winning the quarter.
So Acker is kick 2. That's what confronts him. In the end, he goes to the team thing, but
Well, he
he went
went
straight to the wrong Voss.
He went for one Voss and got the other.
Into the middle, Clark takes the mark.
The Saints really deserve a goal or two to put the finishing touches on this term, which, to all intents and purposes, they've dominated. Oh, and they should have got something there. They might yet. They still might. Del Santo to Gehrig on his preferred side, and he misses again, and he's kicked 2 goals for. The margin is 14 points.
1 goal, 3 this quarter, Tim.
20 scoring shots to 11, and they still haven't put the game away.
Got to say, too, that the misses have all been easy misses, too, haven't they, Tim?
Thanks, Chris.
So Johnson brings it back in for Brisbane. His target is Charman. Got to beat 2 of them. And Noble from behind just fists it over the line.
And in that sense, you'd think they'd be better for this occasion because it's a new experience, and for having it under their belt, I reckon they'll be a more dangerous side next time around.
Lenny Hayes, what a wonderful night he's had. 22 disposals. Ball. He's got great skills. And he makes no mistake. Well, they've been threatening for a while, and they finally got the goal they needed, St Kilda, and it's back out to a 20-point buffer.
And a couple of things.
Hard ball get from Lenny Hayes.
It's another breakaway clearance by St Kilda. 12-2 in this third quarter, and another example of pace worrying Brisbane. And the Saints just dominating the clearances in this third quarter, 12-2, and the quick breakaways by the likes of Clark and Ball.
Rob, the cold, hard reality is that the great Brisbane midfield has had its colours lowered.
Well, it has, and Simon Black really struggling. Luke Power hasn't done enough. Brad Scott's been struggling for form, and Notting and Shattuck, they haven't done enough either. And another breakaway by the Saints.
Could they kill it off in the dying minutes of this quarter? Black, that's a lovely centering kick, but Riewoldt couldn't get to the drop. And Copeland was able to take it uncontested in the end.
Tim, it looks as if Brisbane could be gone, but let's think about what happened preliminary final last year up there in Sydney. When Sydney looked as if they had the game, Brisbane charged home in that last quarter.
Saints cutting them up at the moment. Clark delayed, trying to draw the tacklers, and he drew more than he bargained for. Corrie's ball. Brisbane desperate for one before three-quarter time. Johnson for Notting. Now, he is a long kick. On the run, he's kicked some wonderful goals this year. Let's see from the set shot. With the seconds ebbing away in this term. And a goal would give the champions something to hang their hats on as they go to the last change.
Sauce, how have you seen Matty Maguire's quarter on Jonathan Brown?
Well, Jonathan Brown just hasn't had any influence. Just the supply of the ball into the Brisbane forward half, it's just been non-existent, and they're really gone cold at the moment, the Brisbane forwards.
This is a big moment. It's a big kick, but it's not online.
$19 points the difference. And Voss's kick. A few Saints supporters had their hearts in their mouth, but came off okay as Harvey takes the mark. Harvey up to 14 disposals, and his kick finds Penny.
Alistair. They're out. It's yours.
They go straight up the middle. He looks for Maguire and finds him. Out wide to Milne. Got a horrible bounce. White swoops. Handballs to Hadley. He's tackled by Ball. Corrie. Clever tap to Copeland. Another chance here for Brisbane. Half a minute left. Copeland's kick is very ordinary, to say the least. Oh, Lynch got bowled over. Completely fairly, I might add, by Maguire. Hudson in trouble. Now Voss. Can he weave some magic? Left foot kick into the pocket. Here's a chance for Brown. Snapping at his heels is Fisher. Brown across the face. Corrie will get there. Oh. He'll try and play on. And that'll be it for three-quarter time. 66 plays, 47, and the Saints hierarchy like what they see.
And why not? And Robert Harvey just intercepted the Corrie kick there. And their experienced players, Lenny Hayes, Rob Harvey. I thought that Fraser Gehrig certainly gave them more in that third quarter. Luke Penny doing a solid job at fullback. And the run of Xavier Clark and Luke Ball in that third quarter was something special.
Three-quarter time, Saturday night football. It is St Kilda taking on the heavyweight champions and winning. They lead the Lions by 19 points at the final change. Well, Steve Silvani, how do you see it at the last change?
Well, I just think really it's the midfield that is really dominating the game. You have a look at the Brisbane forward line and they're just struggling to get involved in the game because the supply hasn't been there. You take Fraser Gehrig and Mel Michael, that situation there, Gehrig getting on top because the supply of the ball keeps coming into their forward line.
And Lee Matthews has put Jonathan Brown to full forward.
Looked like takeaway time for Brisbane, but no. A great smother, and it might be St Kilda yet. Del Santo, quick hands. Hayes trying to ride the weather through there. Copeland now for Pike. And Black as Brisbane build. Lappin! He is within range. Did he play on? Oh, he's lucky.
Well, if he didn't play on, it's going to be 50.
Go back to your kick. Go back to your kick. Because it's not. Go back to your kick.
She looked to be edging sideways.
Yeah, he hates having set shots for goal. He absolutely, this is the one part of his game that he's not confident about. Going into this game, he'd kicked 2 goals, 7 behind. We saw in that third quarter, he ran almost to the goal line to put it through. He is a good kick, but he just pulls back on the ball too often when having a set shot. Well, he's done it this time. Well done.
Margin 13. Oh, yes, he definitely took off. And the fact that he didn't get 50 might suggest some equivocation on the part of umpire Shane McInerney.
And we can see Jonathan Brown down there at full forward. So Lee Matthews has changed his forward structure. Alistair Lynch at centre half forward. Maxie Hudson on Lynch.
Voss with his head over the football. Quick kick out of the pack was by Power. That's a terrific mark by Max Hudson, who hasn't played for 10 weeks, is having a great game. Showing remarkable fitness. Maguire on the left boot. White gets there first. To Power. Lappin slipped at the crucial moment. Coming through hard was Hadley. Got it to McRae. Sold the dummy. Looks for Lynch. It's a poor option. And allows Maguire into the picture to save the day. As Brown was offering the lead and he was ignored, and St Kilda out of trouble.
Harvey, touch of the fumbles.
Rob Harvey and Michael Voss opposed to each other in the midfield at the moment.
Crowd, by the way, tonight, guys, 52,490, the second highest in the history of Telstra Dome, 822 short of the Kangaroos-Collingwood match last year.
And something that distinguishes the champions from the rest is that they know how to finish the fight. Do the Saints know? Have they learnt that yet? Jared Brennan's moment will come in this last quarter. When they met here last year, St Kilda led by 4 goals at three-quarter time and won by 5 points. Brown, good spoil penny. Black. First there, Hodgson. Brisbane getting there in numbers. Clark laying an effective tackle. Oh, and Voss is unlucky. Just made some contact with Powell's back.
Maxie Hutchton broken from the half-back line.
And does it well for Gehrig. White just prizing it away. Copeland to McRae in unfamiliar territory down the back. Nice delivery. Johnson.
Pass had to be spot on there, and it was. Well, Johnson on defensive 50. The Lions making their move. Out wide to Hadley.
Gee, we're only 4.5 minutes into this final quarter, but they look as if they've got their composure back, Brisbane.
Hadley to half forward. Lynch wrestles with Maguire.
Holding! Holding.
Now Maguire onto Lynch, and umpire said Maguire did the holding. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, yes and no. It's a hard one, isn't it, when they grapple and there's a bit of jumper being pulled both ways.
There was some holding going on, and I guess if an umpire has the courage of his convictions, he will go with it one way or the other.
So too far out to score Alistair Lynch. Looks like he'll have to kick to a contest. He leads into the pocket to Zackermanis, but easily picked off by Thompson, who plays on. Looks for Hayes, who's been a star. Disposal number 24.
A good play by Thompson, the mark, the kick, and running on for the hand pass. And a good delivery. Maguire.
That's yours.
Revolt and Lepic again. Gehrig trying to run onto it. Now Guerra. He's done it. The Saints kick the steadier and lead by 19 points. Brent Guerra's second.
Trouble for Brisbane as White limps off.
And Sauce, who's White been on?
White's been on Gehrig, and he's coming off the ground. It looks like they're going to have to put Jared Brennan on Gehrig.
Ackermanis kicks it deep into the forward line. Beautiful snare by Lynch to Lappin. Left foot snip is bouncing. It's a goal! Beautiful hands, and Lappin has finished it off with a fantastic snap. He has got 3. And there's the quick reply from the champs.
Gee, as soon as you think maybe they're gone, they've bounced back, Brisbane, and again the game is alive. And we'll go back to you, Sauce. What's that rearrangement of the Brisbane backline?
Yes, well, Gehrig's the fellow that hasn't got a direct opponent at the moment. They're pointing Jared Brennan to take Gehrig. Looks like Mel Michael's taking control now. He's going over to Gehrig, and Brennan is a loose man in the backline at the moment for Brisbane. Does not have a man.
Lappin was a damaging player in the last quarter of that match last year, in which, incidentally, Brisbane cut 19 points out of St Kilda's lead. The margin at three-quarter time tonight, 19 points. Harvey and Milne. Harvey, this time, Robert. Yes, this time. thus far, the Saints have had the answers.
And that's the Harvey interception. Brisbane handball, smothered by Harvey, goes to Mill. Mill gets it back across to Rob Harvey, who puts it through, and a fitting end to a player who just read the play to perfection to be able to take out that Brisbane handball. Let's have a look at the Harvey steal. Reflexes, smartness, gets a hand in, stops the handball getting away, picked up by Mill, back to Rob Harvey, and he's able to steer it through, and a fitting reward to a smart footballer to be able to finish off with the goal.
Back to 19, the difference, which was the margin at the final change. Del Santo, good hands to Thompson, over the top to Black. He's tackled by Scott. Corrie on hands and knees, got it out to Hadley. He's tackled by Black. Scott again, good tackle Hayes. It's a throw. Free kick to Lenny Hayes at half forward. Hayes is looking for Rewalt, who's found some space. Beautifully done by Rewalt. Picked his moment to perfection. Just managed to get a couple of metres on Leppich. And Nick Rewalt, if he can kick this, boy, he's going to make it tough for the Lions.
6 mark to Rewalt, Sauce.
Once again, they just left the space open on the fat side of the ground. Rewalt knew that Lenny Hayes was going to kick there and just timed his lead to perfection.
Rewalt's kick one. Saints by 25.
That's a lead that will take some pegging back. Brisbane have thrown a lot at them tonight. The Saints have answered every challenge. Brisbane need momentum. They have not been able to gather any. Hudson to Maguire. All St.Kilda. Black. He's a lovely user of the ball. The weight on that just about perfect. And Rewalt gains another 25 metres. What a night it is for them.
Well, if they win, Tim, it's 10 in a row. 4 Wizard Cup games, 6 in the season proper.
Rod Butters and Brian Waldron literally on the edges of their seats. Lindsay Fox has weathered a few storms, sitting back, looking comfortable.
And Simon Black in picture. He's the #1 clearer for this Brisbane team, the #1 tackler, #1 to put the ball inside their forward 50. And he has really struggled tonight to the extent that they haven't had him in at many of the centre bounces. Brett Voss, his opponent at the moment.
Well, he's #1 in the AFL in kicks. Tonight he's had only 6 kicks.
Well down.
Free kick to Hadley on centre wing. Now they've mended the crowd, by the way, too. It's up a few more, up to 52,539 now. Black, here's a chance. Well, he's got one. Should know better than writing Blacks off, shouldn't we?
Well, he hasn't played the usual Simon Black game. He hasn't played in the normal position that you see Simon Black. He spent more time across the half-forward line than I've seen for a long while, which makes you think that perhaps he's not 100%. And even now, he's not in for the all-important centre bounce.
It's still winnable, but it'll take some doing. Charman wins in there. But Clark, who's been very good for the Saints, mops it up. Rewalt. Milne scouting it beautifully.
No chance. No chance to get rid of it.
Absolutely correct call from the umpire. Brett Voss in bother. He's on his way to the sidelines.
Cramped him.
That's a blow. And a fine player. Beautifully done, Power to Black. And they're away. Notting. Just didn't make the contact he was after. Lynch dangerous. The goal unguarded. Where will it land? Wide. 18 points in it. Bad cramp for Brett Voss.
Christy Mulhouse.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. It looks like it's just a bad cramp for Brett Voss in his left leg, and they're doing all they can to relieve that at the moment.
So 3 straight kicks, St Kilda lead by.
Come on. Yours now.
Hudson to Harvey. Turnover, hard, ineffective kick. Ackermanis amongst 4 Saints. Clark was desperate.
Saints kick.
And the umpires plucked the free kick here. It's going St Kilda's way.
Jackson.
Second half has been good, Xavier Clark.
He goes back, concedes some territory and finds Aussie Jones, who's got just about the whole defensive 50 to work with. And his kick finds Schwarze. It was a late inclusion for Hamill, and his kick is good. It finds ball, and the Saints are away.
Uses the ball beautifully. Hits Harvey between the eyes. Gehrig the target here. 2 against him. Now has Charman got the mobility. Guerra's arriving hard. Power. Non-preferred. Notting. 3 kicks in it. It's well floated by McRae to Voss. And back to the original donor. Clark, though, on the end of it. Covered a lot of territory. Now Hudson has some space and can set it up for the Saints. Options are plenty. Harvey. Ball now is a good kick. Gehrig the sit. Still alive. Not anymore. Margin 19. Brisbane came when all looked lost in the match last year and lost it by a second in the end. Luke Power marking almost on the bell.
And Sauce, Gehrig appears to be playing from the goal line, not out 10 metres, not out 30 metres, but on the goal line.
Well, he is, Robert, and probably the reason for that, he's very tired. He's cramping up at the moment, and he's really struggling to lead, so he's opting just to play from the goal square.
Johnson to do the kicking in. Looks for Charman against Kazitsky. Back of the pack is Fisher. And the boundary up was right on the spot. As we see Black preparing to come on, and Clark's coming off, which perhaps a bit of a surprise, Rob.
Yeah, I think he's taken a couple of knocks. He's probably the lightest player out there. And this has been a very physical game in close.
Hadley, quick kick out of the pack. Fisher. Ball.
Great tackle.
And another bounce.
And let's have a look at Sean Hart, one of the fittest players in the AFL, and he is tired, he is hurting, and he's given his all as he usually does.
Heavy collision. Down goes Kazitsky. Corrie out of the traffic to Lappin to Power. And here come the Lions again. This is good for Brown. Maguire holding in. Brown did it brilliantly. That was just too good, but that wasn't so hot. They've got to take risks, though, if they're going to win this. Free kick to the Lions.
Hey.
Gee, that Brown
Go
mark
down,
was a
Bucky.
beauty. We'll see it again. It was an absolute power mark, Jonathan Brown.
Voss wastes no time. Lynch has got it. Well, a goal here will put them within range.
Well, you said at half-time, Tim, it's been a weekend of comebacks. Let's have a look at Lynch. He starts from behind Penny and then works to the front.
It's his first goal of the night, and it has Brisbane within 13 points. It seems amazing that they're that close.
It does, but they just will not lie down. This is the Lynch mark, but it was the Jonathan Brown one-handed mark fending off Maguire. That was the beauty. And look at the strength to fend off Maguire, who's a big man, and then let that ball come onto his chest and then clutch it on the chest with the left arm.
Well, they were seemingly down for the count, the Lions, but they've staggered to their feet again. They're not done with yet. Power wins the ball, handballs to Voss, gives it to Notting, splits the pack, snared by Black, dispossessed by Thompson, umpire lets it go, Voss fed it out. And now the umpire will surely bounce.
Thanks, Oz.
.65 out from the Lions' goal. Jarman got the tap to Black. Stolen by Voss. There's the other one, Michael. Scott. Lions have got the numbers here. It's Copeland and Hart combining. Hart on the left, puts it inside 50. Lynch got to the front, from the side almost. McRae, Brown fed it out. Hudson under pressure, tackled by Ackermanis. A bounce, 35 out from Brisbane's goal.
Okay.
McRae almost pinched it from the side.
It was a gutsy effort by the little McRae.
Thanks, Acker.
Gutsy effort, and Sauce, Trent Noble's on. What would you do with him?
Yes, and yeah, well, Grant Thomas was reading my mind. I think it was about time they pushed Kazitsky forward, because they're going to struggle with that matchup now that Darryl White's off the ground. Looks like they're pushing Copeland across the revolt, and now Lepage onto Kazitsky.
Knock it out the call. Voss to Ackermanis. It's a behind, and the difference is 2 straight kicks. And this is now reminiscent of Ali Frazier 1, 15th round.
Plenty of time left. Still more than 8 minutes. As Brett Voss, after suffering cramp, is back on the ground. Kicks in the direction of ball. Oh, Notting got there. Dipped nicely. Now finds Hadley. Hadley goes short to Johnson. Spun out of trouble brilliantly. Now to the 50. Ackermanis couldn't hang on to it. Got support. Ran into a wall. Handball to Lynch. Right foot snap is sensational. It's a goal of the diff at the Telstra Dome in front of more than 52,000 people.
Great play by Chris Johnson. Spins out, puts it out in front of Ackermanis. Doesn't quite mark it. Courageous effort there by Ackermanis. Able to keep the ball alive. Gets it across to Alistair Lynch. He hooks it around the body. And he won't kick many better goals than that.
More than 52,500 here, and they're just about bringing the house down.
And Sauce Kazitsky at full forward.
Yes, and they're putting Nick Revolt full forward as well.
Clean take away to Lynch. He was goalless for 3 quarters. He's about to line up for his 3rd of the last.
Tell you what, Tim, thousands of people across the country thought they were gone.
Half an hour ago, this looked inconceivable. Right now, the scores are level.
Alistair Lynch, 3 final quarter goals. Lee Matthews moved him out to centre-half forward to start this final term. Brown went to full forward. We see Black with the clearance. Lynch has been moved back to full forward. And Lee Matthews with just a little tweak here, a little adjustment there, has got his forward line working again.
Scores level at the Telstra Dome. The Lions have come from nowhere. The tap went to Jarman. Hayes got it to Harvey. Quick kick out of the pack. Underneath it is Brad Scott. Ricochets off his shoulder. Attacking it is Shattuck. Gehrig's in there. So is Goddard. Shattuck did well. Got the hard ball again. Got it over to Power. Handballs into space to Hadley. Here come the Lions. Inside 50. Johnson against Voss. Johnson will get there. Tackled by Jones. It'll be a bounce.
Chris Johnson playing as a forward. Started his career as a forward with Fitzroy 10 years ago. And the unflappable Lee Matthews.
Plenty of time left. Saints turn to defend grimly. Black has risen the notch. Lapping a couple of notches. How it's changed.
They're not smiling now.
The Lion fans were a subdued lot halfway through the third quarter. There is not a square centimetre of turf for the Saints to break away now.
Sauce, are you comfortable with Brennan playing on Rewalt?
Don't think Sauce can hear you. It's the Lions half-forward line. Black responding to the challenge, got pushed in the back.
Push. Straight back.
Now the Brownlow medalist has the football. Not much to kick to. Forced to go sideways to Scott, who chips it to Corrie. Clark will get there first though. Corrie still in watch.
Let him go. Cripsy, you've got a message.
Xavier Clark, true centre half-back position. Short to Harvey. Wastes no time. His target is Rewalt, who pushes off Brennan. Rewalt's got the free. Brennan can't believe it.
I think that's a real worry. I don't know whether Lee Matthews got many other options.
Yes. Rewalt to the lead. Gehrig pushed over Rakic, and it's a free kick. 5 minutes to go in the game here at Telstra Dome. No advantage. It's coming back. Good umpiring. And the free kick will come back to the lever.
Sauce, what are your thoughts about Brennan on Rewalt? It looks really, really dangerous to me.
Yeah, he looks very raw, doesn't he, Rob? The strength factor is the one there. I'd actually push Rewalt to the goal square because he just doesn't look comfortable on him.
Brown in the midst of it. Hudson getting a fist in there. Saints haven't scored for a while. Jones taken away from goal. Deft little kick. Ball looking to milk it. Harvey now. Voss, Rewalt, long way from home. Takes Gehrig a long way too. Play on the call. That's gone out on the full. A free kick to Brisbane. It's coming unglued for St Kilda.
He had Goddard on short too, but ignored him. So Scott in the back pocket. There is the clock ticking down. We have no idea how much is left. Scores level. Brown, almost a big mark. Lappin, quick hands to Hadley, who's been good in the last quarter. Black to Lappin, to Corrie, over the top. Here come the Brisbane Lions. Power paddles, now controls it. He can run on, he can kick a goal. The Lions lead by 6.
Whoa. What's that definition of a champion? He's the one who gets up when he can't.
Oh, it's just amazing fight back, Tim. It's been a wonderful game.
Brisbane by a goal. Couldn't have imagined I'd hear myself say it. Harvey to ball. There was a whistle.
Throw, I think.
A throw. And the game goes on, but the ball will come back, won't it? Milne's got it. It is coming back. Gee, that was indecisive umpiring. Two of them were up in the middle, and none of them down there letting the players around the contest know. So the play's been called to a halt.
Brisbane ball.
Brisbane ball for a throw. It will be a long quarter. You'd think around 32 minutes.
Milne! Right out! Play on.
But the Lions are in control, and they're in front. And they're playing keepings off and running it down.
Took them 3 quarters to kick 7 goals. They've kicked 7 goals in this final term. We don't know how long there is to go. We know it's around about the 3.5-minute mark. We think that. And, well, they're just edging further and further back.
Well, they just got a man up. It's simple as that. Hart's on short. So they must go one-on-one, St Kilda. Now I think they have. So Hart will have to go long, although Michael's still lurking in the goal square. Oh, it's a risky kick. It has just come off. That is dicing with death. Now Michael goes the long option. The lead was excellent from Lepic. Tried to milk the 50.
Staged it. Good umpiring.
Still a couple of minutes left, perhaps.
Big last quarter by Simon Black, 8 disposals, Luke Power 8, and Richard Hadley 10.
Now a contest. Brown and Hudson the spoil. Black smothered. Brown, Ackermanis in front of Lappin. How will it sit? Voss now for St Kilda. Did very well to get it onto his boot. Hudson a little panicky. Jones now. Nothing there for the Saints. Curry didn't mark it. Del Santo tackled high. St Kilda's ball. A kick and a half out. Maybe 90 seconds left in it. We're guessing though.
Dare we say it, Tim? A draw, a fitting result.
Del Santo is a good kick. He sits it and hopes. Schwarze up, Gehrig up. Kazitsky down. Can he do something here? Clark, Ackermanis the tackle. Notting ties it up.
No chance.
Ball up.
The pressure. And that's just the spectators. A bounce. 45 out from St Kilda's goal. The Lions lead by a kick. Kazitsky snaps it forward. Lions have numbers around the ball. Michael heads for the boundary. Bamaji Jones is there. She looked out on the full, but the umpire's given it a point.
She looked out of bounds from here.
Looked out on the full, so a goal could win it for St Kilda. It looked out on the full from here, but it is a point. The Saints trail by 5.
Sauce, you were right behind that. What do you think?
It was a good measure out. Did not go through the points. That was out of bounds on the full.
And another reason why we need 2 goal umpires at each end. No matter what Jeff Geeshan and Rowan Saws and all his mates want to say, we need 2 goal umpires at each end.
It was 5 points last year. It's 5 points at the moment, the other way round. Now the ball's loose. It gives St Kilda a rough chance. Black. Good hand pass. Voss. Schwarze now. The defender can run. And from a long way, roost it. And put the Saints in front. They're in front by a point, and what a controversial point it will be.
Well, let's have a look at the Aussie Jones kick again. Let's have a look at Jones's kick. It was clearly out on the full. Here's another angle, and that was not even close.
Well, we're directly in line
Not
with
even
it.
close.
We're right behind him.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's the Saints by a point. Doesn't matter now.
Well, we had a point victory to Richmond last night, a point victory today up at Monica by the Western Bulldogs. Will it be another one?
Troy Schwarze could end up being the accidental hero after coming in as a last-minute inclusion for Hamill. Back in the middle, ball wins it, gives it to Harvey. Little toe poke out into space. It's Hayes against Brennan. Scott's there for Brisbane, picks it up, tries to get it to Hadley unsuccessfully. Harvey snares it. He's got room to move. He goes for home. It's bouncing. It's across the face. Now a chance for Michael. He's got Shattuck on short. Instead he handballs to Hart. Hart in trouble. Back to Michael. Michael's tackled by Rewell. He cuts it up. Jones has got about 5 options, but he says, I'm going to go back and waste some time.
That's discipline.
Aussie Jones says, settle things down. It's the Saints by a point. We've almost ticked over 34 minutes.
Play on now.
Back to Black. Champion has been defeated, but there will be a rematch, at least one, in season 2004 as we go to Christie Molehouse with Brett Voss.
This crowd.
I can't believe it. I mean, they deserve it. They've gone through a lot of hard years. To see games like this, they really deserve it.
This team, you have so much belief, don't you? I mean, you almost looked on in the end there. Got the goal. A great win.
Yeah, that was probably me. I let, 3 goals in the last quarter wasn't good enough on my behalf, but I was lucky to be part of the winning goal, so I was happy with that.
A bit of push and shove with your brother throughout the game, just a bit of sibling rivalry.
Yeah, why not? We might as well keep everyone talking about it.
Well done.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Last year they won by 1 second and were saved by the bell. Tonight they won by 1 point.
That was last year on the left, this year on the right. Can't wait for the rematch. One suspects there'll be more than one in 2004. What can you say, Rob?
They deserved their win, St Kilda. They had more scoring shots. They would have had more forward 50 entries. They kicked inaccurately. And it looked like they were gone with a couple of minutes left. And they were able to muster another challenge. And the goal by Troy Schwarze, well, he won't kick one as important as that for the rest of his life, I'm sure. And what delight it brings to the faces of the St Kilda supporters. Brisbane, brave as brave could be.
We're going to take a break from the Telstra Dome. The Saints home over the reigning champs by 1 point.